I was with Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing out Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. Huh. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Okay, she was Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when the body was found. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Hold it! Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Press harder, yeah, let's press harder. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps, but no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Well, I guess that explains that. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there's no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you, or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot of writing on it with all those bigwigs at that meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. Very well, Miss Vasquez, please continue. That doesn't make sense, because how did you know there was a murder? Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think! Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring her script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to have known about the murder before going to Studio 1! Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Huh? Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect the reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal the director? You have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you, Mr. Manila, arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh, what did I just say? Did I not say I wasn't stuffing any bodies in any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. The witness will continue her testimony. Old Bag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. The photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. Objection! You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? Because you weren't there when that happened. I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. You saw Mr. Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ha! And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2 where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order! Order! I will have order! Witness! Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it's unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had motive? I have proof. I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss motive in the murder. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? Huh. Huh. 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed on him, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Huh. bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the X-Star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if Mr. Hammer who had killed as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. Let me see. Exter, what'd you say? You said this case is a little weird for Westerners, but it made perfect sense in Japanese law at the time when this came out. Yeah, it's so Ace Attorney doesn't actually follow a whole lot of like law either. It doesn't follow Japanese law perfectly, and it also doesn't follow American law perfectly. She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer. Yes, yes. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him for all those years. So you did do it, didn't you? Yes, I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance! There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez? What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel? Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? Alright, let's read what you said, Exter. Because Japanese law back then didn't have justified self-defense at the time, so even if the person you killed had verifiably intended to try to kill you, you gotta send shorter messages because they don't pop up fully on the system that I'm using. But I think I understand what you're saying. That's really interesting. I didn't realize that. Do you know when they changed that? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. In 2014? Wow! That's crazy. I thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. I'm on my I mean, I'm playing this on my PlayStation 4, you nerd. And my brother is taking his Taekwondo sword class downstairs on my iPad, so I don't have a dashboard to use. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty! Yeah! Look how tall that man is. That is all. This court is adjourned. I love this game. This game's like one of my favorite series. I've played them all through completion, but I haven't played this one in so long. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yeah, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume, and it's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? I'm gonna show you some evidence. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because he always won. It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids show and as a villain too, to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP! Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong? No, of course not. Nick Edgeworth. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away with it if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet? Again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? You're missing years of a backstory, Maya. Come on, Nick, tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. As if. Nick! This is it. The new show starts today. You're gonna watch it with me, right? I think this is actually kind of cute. I'll admit I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. You think it's funny to think about Powers wearing that costume? A brand new episode has been added.